Today's stories include Nintendo Switch 2 is finally revealed, and we're going to live react for the very first time. We'll have all that and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up and welcome to a very special Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, January 16th, 2025. Of course, I am your host, Tim Geddes, and Nate the Hate was right.
Whoa!
Today is the day. We've been talking about it, and the rumors are true, everybody. The Nintendo Switch 2 has been revealed, and I have not seen the trailer. I have not seen anything from this, and neither has Blessing Adeoye Jr.,
Good day, Tim.
Andy Cortez,
Hello, Tim.
or Greg Miller.
I have not seen anything, but I did hear the music because Jen was watching while she was brushing her teeth. And then she comes down, she goes, so this Switch, I'm like, no, say nothing.
I heard the music.
Whoa. What kind of music?
Yeah,
Was it,
spoilers.
was it
Did it
the,
make you happy?
did it make you
No, it made me go,
F-Zero?
fucking Nintendo, you know? Because it's Miyamoto going, Switch 2, how you do? How you do?
So
got a rap?
this Switch
Yeah, we're out the bangers already. You'll love that. But everybody, remember, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the video game news that you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, please support us with the Kinda Funny membership. It gets you the shows ad-free. You can watch them live as we record them, and you get a daily exclusive Greg Way. Do you know what it's going to be about today, Greg?
No. Because I have a question that I've been sitting on all week that I said I would do earlier, but then other things keep coming. And then I was like, I'll do it today. But then I couldn't go to Patreon because I opened Patreon. I saw, now the Switch 2. No, can't look at these. So maybe it'll be about the Switch 2. Who knows? The Shadow knows.
Well, you can find out if you're a Kinda Funny
What does he
member.
have in his
Roger,
pocket?
read my mind. You know what I'm saying?
At least it's not cheese, you know what I mean? But anyways, you can get the shows ad-free, all that stuff. If you have the membership, you can get the membership on YouTube, Patreon, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. We appreciate your support wherever you are. And also, if you want to be part of this show, please get your YouTube Super Chats in. Get your thoughts
Super
on the Switch 2 reveal, any predictions going forward of what might happen, all of that stuff. Super chat it in. And then a little housekeeping. KindaFunny.com/stores popping off right now. Not only can you get all of the cool basketball merch, you can also get our Kinda Funny 10-year anniversary merch. We have the 2 t-shirts in the different colorways that both look fantastic. We have the water bottle. We have the notebook. You can style and profile all you want. KindaFunny.com/store.
And don't forget
to be
that if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime.
It's true.
That's good.
It's true.
Thank you.
Would you ever try to harmonize, Bless?
No, absolutely
I would never.
not,
I would never
no.
either.
Yeah, give me a
scares
few
me.
drinks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Give me at a karaoke bar. We'll see what I can do.
Then after Games Daily, so much fun. So much more fun. The Gamescast is going to be Blessing, Andy, and Barrett doing their top 10 games of 2024, their personal lists, following up our Game of the Year coverage all week this week. And then after that, the stream is, it's going to be Mike and Nick doing something. That's all I'm going to say. Because I have a feeling there's no chance that this actually
Absolutely.
happens.
Yeah, I put in the stream headline on YouTube of just Kinda Funny's playing games, and then I put in the description, I don't know what we're doing today.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, but it's going to be good because it's those monsters. If you're a Kinda Funny member, you get today's Greg Way, and also you'll be able to watch us review Creature Commandos later today. Very excited to talk all about that. Otherwise, you can get it on podcast services and YouTube tomorrow. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Delaney Twining and Carl Jacobs. Today we're brought to you by BetterHelp, ExpressVPN, and MeUndies, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have one story today.
A baker's dozen.
It's time, y'all. At approximately 5:16 a.m. today, Nintendo of America dropped the trailer.
It was 5:16.
5:16.
What does that mean? Let's
5
let's
a.m.
dig
and
into
16
this.
minutes.
What time is that in Japan?
I mean, this is what it means, Bless.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no patterns. There is no consistency. There is nothing to learn from Nintendo's past. As much as we try,
Yeah.
they'll always throw us off just a little bit.
WNDs, put them up.
WNDs. I kind of love it, though. I kind of love it because I love that there's the speculation. And, we're in the realm of it.
Oh,
we
yeah.
kind of had the idea that we were prepared to do this today to some extent.
It was hilarious last night seeing everybody tweeting like, all right, it's about to be 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. It's gonna be 8 p.m. Pacific. All right, 8:30 p.m. And then like at a certain point around 9 p.m., everybody in the U.S. just gave up. Everybody was like, maybe the Switch 2 doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Jeff
the friends we
Grubb's
made
full of
along the
shit.
way.
But it does,
Yeah.
everybody. Are y'all ready to see the Switch 2?
Very
Yes.
excited. Let's do it, Tim.
Let's do it.
Changes Sega.
Look at that old stupid ass
yuck.
thing.
Garbage out of here.
Fucking gold.
Ugh,
Old ass
disgusting.
bezel.
Vomit on my dick
Throw
right
them
now.
away.
Terrible.
Say vomit.
Pack it up. Wow, it's bigger.
Bigger bless.
Where's Magnet?
Whoa, it's different texture.
This is ASMR. Oh, this feels
Oh.
good.
That's like a good.
Oh, here we go.
USB on top and bottom.
Love that.
Oh, this feels good to watch.
Okay, yeah, this is exactly the leaks.
Genki knew everything.
Wow.
How deep the kickstand goes.
Get this trash out of here. This thing.
Whoa, the
Let's
big.
go.
Look at them buttons, Tim.
Is there a C on it?
There's the C button,
That's where I put
but
the
there's no
color.
C on it.
It's not imprinted in it yet, Tim.
Yeah, we're still
Love
building.
this.
Tim. We're still building.
Hall effect sticks, I imagine.
They just always have the best music.
Like
Tron.
The mouse support.
That was a slap.
And that's the clank. It's a clank, everybody.
Oh,
We
that's
got a clank.
I thought that was the SD card
See, that's
sticking out of there. Beautiful.
Love it. Love it. Crushed it, y'all.
Here we go.
Let's fucking
Oh
go.
my god.
Yes.
Man, it's crazy how much this looks like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
It's not though. It's not though. This is new,
Look
everybody.
at that rounded dock. I like
I
that.
like it.
Hell yes. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, but give me a month.
Okay.
Physical and digital.
Okay.
Love that.
All right.
Damn, it is so much bigger.
Oh, direct.
Wow.
That's
Ain't no
wow.
fooling.
April 2nd.
Series of hands-on events held around the world.
Nintendo Switch 2 experience.
I love how much info we just got at the end of that.
Yeah.
That was just like, hey, look at all the things. The leaks are right. Hey, here's what you actually want to know. April 2nd. The countdown begins, everybody.
Yeah.
Bless, I want to start with you.
It's very interesting getting this trailer in this way because we always talk about like Switch 1 and how that was revealed and how's that going to play into the way the Switch 2 is revealed. I think one of the things that we didn't talk about is the fact that that Switch 1 reveal had to sell us on the core premise of the Switch. You know, taking it out the dock, hanging out with your friends, going to play basketball, going to a rooftop party, and being able to still have access to your console. I think we should have been able to guess that, like, hey, Switch 2, they don't really need to resell us on that. They don't really
Yeah.
need to get Sabrina Carpenter to come out and show us that, you know, she does a concert.
Oh, God. Let's just all thank God Pharrell wasn't here. You know, we did
You
it.
gotta talk
We
about
beat
this
it.
guy,
We
Pharrell.
didn't do it. He wasn't here.
I don't like the Pharrell.
I
train.
don't know what the hate is about.
Yeah,
So
but
we didn't need him.
of course, you don't really need to resell us on that because everybody understands what the Switch is. And so how do you talk about the Switch 2? How do you show off the Switch 2? You start off with the Switch and show all of the intricate details of how it's an upgrade, how it's made better. I love the bigger screen. It looks more sleek and modern. Honestly, this brings me back to, 4 years ago, when all of us were talking about the Switch Pro and what we wanted out of a Switch Pro. Looking at this feels like the Switch Pro. And I understand that like they want to sell this as a new console. This is a step forward, all that stuff. But like at its core, all what I'm getting from this trailer is that, hey, this is just a better Switch with, you know, upgrades to it. And so far, I'm good with it, right? Like, I want to see what that software looks like. Mario Kart, obviously, like that's something you want to lead off with, and you know, it looks like more Mario Kart. I like the art style though; like the characters look slightly different, and so there's that.
We're going to need to do like frame by frames and look into it all, but I'm getting more Mario Wonder vibes from the art style.
Yeah.
Of it. You know,
There's a bit more
cuter,
of, like,
a little bit more like
a charm to
round.
it.
But yeah, exciting. That's
This is cool.
somebody that has looked at Mario Kart
Oh,
8
yeah.
almost every day for 15
No,
years.
you're right.
Andy Cortez.
The Switch went through puberty, Tim.
Yeah.
But,
Wow.
you know, the Switch no
Now it's
longer
sexy.
The Switch no longer goes shopping for school clothes with its mother, and now it's going to Abercrombie, and you have like those shirtless teenagers outside, and it's like, why are these 16-year-old dudes shirtless outside. You ever see that last back in the day?
There's a
I
wild
did see that,
documentary
yeah.
on
Really
Netflix.
weird.
I know exactly
It's
what
a
you're
weird
talking about.
time.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? I love the larger Joy-Cons. I love just the larger Switch period because I never really loved the way that the actual joysticks felt on the Joy-Cons. Hopefully these feel a bit more substantial and not just, hey, here's the easier portable version of how it should feel. I hope those feel a little bit better, but overall, it's a lot sleeker, obviously. I think the color sort of section inside of the Joy-Con sticks out further than I assumed it would. I'm fine with it, though. It sticks out a lot more compared to the way that the old Joy-Cons look when you have those little kind of crappy buttons on top that really only work if you have the accessory.
Well, it looks like they locked into the accessory when they went down to do the mouse thing. So I think it was only looked bigger when they had that part on.
Gotcha. Okay.
Could be wrong.
Very, very nice, though. Super sleek. I mean, just a great way to kind of present it. Awesome music. Super sleek looking. I love it. It just looks like the Switch grew up, and that's kind of all that I wanted. I know that we'll get a deeper dive later on, and we'll get more details about all of the different hardware intricacies, but I am just so beyond elated right now that this thing is real, and we are going to be having it in the middle of the year.
Greg Miller.
Very exciting. Very cool. One thing I think I got confused by, do we catch that the April 2nd isn't the release date, it's a Nintendo Direct date?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I saw it and thought release date and kind of forgot all about it. Just want to call that out. No, this looks rad. Tim and I have been talking a lot on air and a little bit off air about me and Ben's new obsession with my Nintendo Switch and me looking at all the Zelda on there. I'm like, I got to get back to this. I got to do this, blah, blah, blah. And him just saying, well, just wait. And so to look at this here and be like, yep, this is what I would want out of a Switch successor, right? Just a bigger screen, hopefully better graphics, cooler tech or whatever. And like, I'm excited to see what this thing will actually be. This is the usual annoyance of being in the know like we are in terms of listening and reading every rumor, talking about them every day on Games Daily. You look at this and it's like, all right, cool, it's what we expected. Whew. Really wish there was I wish I was getting all the games right now to talk about them and I was getting the rundown. I wish April 2nd was today. This is nice that it's official. This is cool that it's official. I'm very excited to get into what's actually happening in that Direct.
I'm so stoked about this. They're giving me everything I want here. It's the Switch too. They're not playing around. They're literally just giving us the thing we love that they did right, but better. And hopefully that's OLED. Not confirmed or denied. Don't love the bezel here.
Yeah, I was
but
going to
you know
ask
what?
about the bezel.
I don't hate the bezel here. I'm not too mad at it. I feel like it's okay here. But what would go a long way for that bezel is some OLED. Then it would just freaking disappear. Love the black look. I think it's the right move to show, hey, this is growing up a bit. This is the evolved version. This is new. Reminds me a lot of the more colorful PS1 going to the PlayStation 2. People taking it more seriously. I think that that's going to happen here with the Switch 2. Great way to differentiate from the Switch 1. I feel like they're entirely avoiding the Wii U problem that we've been talking about forever.
Yeah. Not
Not just in title, but also just in look. How bigger it is, I am pretty surprised by. I know it's leaked. I know that's what everyone's been talking about, but like this is big. This is now Steam Deck levels. Like this is if not bigger,
Yeah.
the screen at
I mean,
least.
it looks huge, right? And like obviously we're gonna get our hands on it someday. Gotta hope that day is soon.
I mean, I don't know if it's Steam Deck quite as large as the Steam
8
Deck.
inches, right?
That's humongous.
8 inches is the size of the OLED, or the remote play PlayStation
Portal.
Somebody help me out. Thank you.
Yeah, and that thing's big.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's a big old screen. Like kind of maxing out like what a screen should be. Then you get to start getting to the Legion Go territories, Andy, that are like, wow, this
Yeah,
is
those are
that's like
crazy.
8 inches, I think.
All these events are going to kick off after that Direct. So New York, April 4th through the 6th. Los Angeles, April 11th through the 13th. Dallas, April 25th through the 27th. And Toronto, the 25th through the 27th. They're also in Europe, Melbourne, Asia, etc.
This to me is an example of things get leaked all the time and there's rumors and is this real, is it not, all that. And a lot of the times those things are good. And then when we actually get the thing, it's like, oh, the good rumors weren't real.
They weren't
so
the real
I'm
deal.
happy here that it's like all the leak stuff was stuff that I'm happy about besides
Sure.
the OLED being the one if factor. But everything else that they were talking about, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm happy to see it here. This is good. I'm very interested in the mouse support that's kind of teased here. I think that is the Switch 2 differentiator in terms of Nintendo having a gimmick. I struggle to think about use cases for me that I'm actually interested in using.
Mario
it's kind
Paint.
of on them to, and yeah, I mean, that's cool, right? But like,
Yeah.
really, it's like at this day and age, I don't know.
I feel like there's a good amount of like indie games that could really like benefit from it. Whether you want to play Balatro like you're playing it like on PC or like the Golden Idol games, bless. Like if you were playing that on Switch, like that with like an actual kind of Switch mouse thing, I think could actually feel good.
Maybe it'll also run SteamOS.
Damn.
Damn.
No, that's
Did you
crazy.
think of that too?
Do you think it
No,
could be?
I don't think so. But I
Nintendo
think
don't
things like
either.
Civ 7 or like
Yeah.
those type of games, I think make a lot of
Do you
sense.
not think like Call of Duty or first-person shooters?
I mean, I think Metroid Prime, right? I think that like slower based things. I
would
would
honest-
is like I understand that there's a lot of things that you could do with it. I don't think it's gonna feel good. Like I don't think
yeah.
that that's gonna feel nice. Like moving around wherever you are, playing portably on a Switch. Like think of when you're playing a Switch on an airplane. What are you gonna do? Pull that thing out and like use your neighbor's freaking pull down thing for it? Like I guess
I would honestly prefer, and I know a lot of it is dependent on IR, like infrared actual sensors, but I would prefer just the way the LG OLED remotes control. Like I would prefer that as a mouse kind of cursor or whatever, similar to like the way the Wii
the
worked,
remote. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do still get that type of functionality with how advanced these Joy-Cons seem to be. Love that the Joy-Cons are bigger. It's hard to tell if the actual face buttons are bigger or not, just from like the little images they showed here.
I believe I think they
just
are.
size-wise, they have to be.
Yeah, I think
I'd
so.
imagine. And yeah, the Hall effect sticks. Hopefully, that's definitely a
Look
big
at them
upgrade.
go.
Oh, yeah.
They do
Oh, yeah.
grow.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank
They're
God.
they're about 20% larger, Tim.
Great.
Those buttons
that's
are
all I need.
engorged.
That's all I need. But yeah, I love that stuff. And then obviously Mario Kart, seeing a new one. It's like that's really all we needed from this to have enough to speculate and talk about until April. And April kind of follows the pattern of last time of October getting the reveal, and then 3 months later, January getting the blowout. So
And
here
then
it
2
is.
months after that, roughly, was
Yeah.
the
So I
Switch
mean,
One.
again, I said earlier, you can't follow patterns with Nintendo, but that's pointing us at a June release date, which
Would be dope.
makes sense at this point, I would say.
I think it's interesting. There was no look at like any sort of Switch 2 like Pro controller, because we did get that in the original Switch reveal. So I do wonder, just like if you don't want to play with the Joy Cons, what does that look
But
like?
do you
Are we
think
just
that
using Pro controllers from the Switch One?
My argument there would be, I think obviously those are coming, and I think that this was more to establish, hey, we're doing Switch 2. It's just bigger, better, what you already know. And I think people then would also assume that stuff, those accessories would come as well. I don't think. I think with Switch 1 there was such, this is a brand new machine. What the hell is this? Is this the only way to play it? There were more questions. Whereas like now we know what the Switch is. We know how this.
I
works.
think also here's everything in the box. Here's kind of what is
yeah.
likely going to be in the box.
Yeah,
Mario.
that's
You think
pretty
Mario Kart's packed in? Big prediction.
Damn.
for me.
Wow. Big prediction.
Huge
You heard it.
prediction.
cool. Yeah, man. Okay. I'm really excited to like dive deeper into this. Where do you guys want to kind of frame by frame it, at least like bit by bit, and kind of see what's going on in the details?
Hell
We
yeah.
don't need to go through everything because some of it's pretty obvious, but once we start getting into like the inputs and all that stuff on the top, I want to see.
And then if we could open up another window of just this video playing, just for the music. It's such a good song.
So, yeah, very similar layout to the normal Switch currently with the power and the tiny little volume buttons. But yeah, we get a USB-C on the top and bottom. Can you pause it here just to talk about that for a second? Like, what's the purpose of that? I think a issue with the current Switch is that you can't charge things in tabletop mode. I'm really interested if tabletop mode is like a popular mode of play.
That, and also like if you're laying, just from personal experience, laying down in bed and like you have the charging, like if you want to charge it while playing it handheld, like having it at the bottom can kind of feel like a little weird, like you're gonna hit it or something. So like having it come in at the top, I feel like is also just more comfortable for that use case.
You would hope too. This is going to give you the choice then of if I am in the hotel and I don't want to bring the whole dock, right? I could just have a USB-C dongle to put it in tabletop mode, put it out to the TV.
I mean, that would be amazing. Like, that would be such a huge, because you can't even do that with the current Switch from the current USB-C,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, like, if that is the functionality, like, I think that'd be a big step up. I am interested now, like, with what Roger was talking about that C button, or even if the button doesn't do it, just having some wireless casting.
The casting, yeah.
I wonder if that's still going to be a thing or not.
Yeah. I also just like there being 2 USB-C slots, right? Like I'm somebody who every now and then, if I'm going on a plane, I bring my Switch along, I want to bring my USB-C earbuds, right? But if I'm doing that, I can't do that and charge at the same time. And so for me, it's like the more USB-C slots, the merrier.
Yep.
They're still using headphones. Interesting. Obviously, this kickstand goes way down, which is nice for that tabletop mode. People
Yeah,
talk about as well.
definitely.
When you're hunched over the airplane seat, looking down.
It's just ruining your neck posture.
IGN points out that alongside those USB-C ports are the new downward-firing speakers that replace the rear-facing speakers, which is interesting too.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at these, love the size increase. I think it's going to go a long way. I kind of wish they were a little wider because I really like the third-party ones that I have that have just a little bit more to hold on to.
Girth.
But I do think that the extra,
You need that dumper
Height
on the
stuff.
backside.
you kind of do.
Yeah.
I don't need too much of a dumper, but I mean, I just need, that white boy dump. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? Like a caked up white boy.
Like a Captain America. I feel you.
Yeah.
A Steve Rogers.
But yeah, interesting. The C is not on the button. I wonder if that's something they're going to add later, or if it's just there is no actual C on it.
I bet there isn't. I would think at this point, they did such a nice job here of going through step by step, color coding, things popping out, details being added. I think you would add that if you were going to have that.
It's weird. Then, like, what do they call that button then? Right? Like, I just feel like for them to even try to tell you press.
The block button.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way that it's not going to have something on it. I don't like.
That's where I'm at, yeah.
There's no way. Yeah.
Why not just put it on the trailer then?
I want to hide it. I
Yeah.
want to keep
Yeah,
it
it
a
is.
secret.
It is weird.
They
They don't want to distract.
Because I feel like in the mock-ups that Genki or whatever had with the C on it feels like such a third-party move to do.
What is on
because
the
it
button?
Looks so weird.
What's on the button now?
There isn't one.
Well,
There isn't.
what's the capture button though for screenshots?
It has like that circle kind of
Okay.
thing. I mean, they
Thank
didn't
you.
talk about Bluetooth when the Switch first came out.
It took them a couple years. Yeah, the Hall effect sticks are going to go such a long way to combat the stick drift that was
Explain
such a
that
big
to people
issue.
who don't know what Hall
Just
effects is.
it's like a more modern technology with analog sticks that started with a lot of the third party ones, but now like pretty much most of the first parties use them as well. Of just it prevents stick drift. Like it just uses like magnets and stuff on the inside to like not allow it to get all messed up, which is good. And yeah, love the use of the OG Switch colors. Like great evolution of all this.
The splash of blue looks so good.
Really good.
I would prefer more of a red, but that's a little tiny.
It seems
Little
like they
tiny
dulled
nitpick.
the red down a bit from the more
Yeah.
neon of the Switch
Like a
one.
salmon.
It almost feels like they went for more of an adult vibe for this one, right?
love it.
Like it feels like to your point of it growing up, Switch One has that color, has like the Joy Cons or the full blue, the full red. This only being hints and also feeling a bit more it literally being bigger, right? I wonder if that is them being like, buy the Switch One for the kids. Like this is the Switch. The Switch 2 is for the grown-ups.
Yeah, so this part, sorry, let's go back and talk about it because interesting that I don't even remember what the hell they call them, but the Joy-Con
straps.
straps or whatever seem a bit more of you don't just throw these things away. You know what I mean?
Dude,
I feel like a lot
yeah.
of us did with the Switch One.
Could not tell you where any of mine are. They're long gone.
I was just reorganizing and I had all that shit. I have all that and the Nintendo, the controller you
grip.
slide them in. And I was like, I can't throw this shit away, but I also never have used it.
I think it's all. Well, I mean, you're more responsible than me because I legitimately think that I just go,
Yeah,
I do it. I do think I just toss them in the trash.
Yeah, but so this mouse stuff could be interesting.
I'm very fascinated about it because that doesn't seem like a thing you put in there just randomly, right? Like I don't think they're thinking of, even though I think it could be used for Case of the Golden Idol or Rise of the Golden Idol. I don't think they look at that game and go, you know what? Let's add in a whole hardware feature based off of indie stuff. I wonder if there's some first party ideas.
There
that they
definitely
have.
will be first party stuff they're using.
Oh,
it for.
yeah.
But I don't.
How long that will be supported? Like what in year 5, 6, 7.
I
8,
mean,
are you still gonna
Nintendo, they'll go all the way with it.
Can you rewind
well,
a
I ain't
little
playing
bit?
Labo no
Wii U.
more.
Can you rewind a little bit, Bear, to where we first kind of see these mouse things flying through? Because I'm just trying to see the trigger area and how the buttons look like.
Much bigger, much more substantial, which is good for at least the R2 and L2.
Yeah, that button being on the side.
That's to lock your
unlock
Joy.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
to lock the
okay,
stuff in
okay.
place.
Very confused by
So
that.
somebody a couple days ago after the Genki CES stuff put out a CG mock-up of the mice of how it could function, and they were playing Metroid Prime 4, at least a video of it, and yeah, it looked like kind of patented Tim Geddes. This is how first-person shooters should be played. Where in the left hand it was the analog controller side, and then the right hand was more of a mouse. But a mouse to me makes sense because there's like buttons to click on the top. Like, I just looking at
Get
this.
the shoulder buttons.
Yeah, I was gonna say you get the.
Yeah, okay. Is that going to feel good?
No.
Is there any world that feels good? I don't buy it.
I mean, boy, when you're holding a Joy-Con, like your index finger.
Yep. Keep talking.
No, but like
Maybe
your
this is gonna be
index
the-
finger will be placed like a mouse.
Maybe
on the,
this
on
is
the
going to
thing.
be the kind of shit where they finally put Netflix on it. You know what I mean? And you want to be able to go through and click on the stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think it's going to be. Yeah, I'm not somebody who's expecting Call of Duty. You're going through. You're doing that.
Well, I'm gonna guarantee you that like whatever new 3D Mario is gonna have heavy mouse functionality, right?
I really hope not.
I mean, I hope not.
really
I hope
hope
not.
not.
Also, but like this is in the like this is in the debut trailer of the Switch 2, and they spent like a few
It's-
seconds just
Yeah, but it's understated. It's not like it was the primary focus of the thing, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like the number one gimmick, but it does concern me. I will say that. Flagging
Everybody-
that
Tim
now,
is concerned.
everybody.
You could destroy some kids in like Marvel
Splatoon.
Rivals.
dude, I can't wait.
Then yeah, we got all the Mario Kart stuff. If we can go back to that, love seeing it. Love that Mario Kart's confirmed in a very similar way to Mario Odyssey being shown off in the first trailer.
It's so nice to see a new track, you know,
Yeah.
Tim?
yeah.
It really is.
Like, yeah, we're in another desert. Cool. But it's a different desert.
Yep.
Can you like go to Donkey Kong?
He's got those eyes.
Donkey Kong looks
Old.
different.
He looks like old school.
He looks like
Donkey Kong.
OG Donkey
And
Kong.
like, yeah, Mario looks a bit more cartoony, wonder vibe here for sure.
I'm not getting the Wonder vibe there. Personally,
Not like with the like shading and stuff, but there's just something about like the proportions of
like how
Mario.
big his hands
His
are
big old
compared to his
cheeks.
head. He's very circular.
his
He
cheeks
Yeah.
are
doesn't have the
definitely
shading
larger.
of Wonder, but I feel like how chibi he is.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people in chat are saying 24 players.
What?
I don't know if there was like a scene where they showed like how many, like what the positions were or something.
Yeah, DK's got like that the
He's got-
black around
yeah,
his
yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
He's
Which
got-
he had
yeah.
more of in the movie. Not like this. This
You
looks
think he's, like,
more
depressed?
like the box art of the original, or like
He's
the
real
side of the
stressed.
arcade. but-
Yeah, this it looks like the old concept
Do you
art.
think
you know?
he's voiced by Seth Rogen in this game?
Oh, we were saying the starting lines at the start of the race. There's 24
Oh,
slots.
hold on. Let's go back then.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting. Cool.
Oh shit.
very interesting.
Huh.
I mean, look, I know we look at this and it's Mario Kart. It's like, well, again, that's a good thing.
That's a great
We're
thing.
talking about more
Yeah.
of like, bless, don't fucking start with me.
No, I'm
This is
with you.
going
I'm
to be
with
the
you.
first Nintendo system that like online is
I
to
didn't
some
say
extent figured out. And like this Mario Kart is going to actually have online functionality with our understanding of like how people are playing games these days. So I feel like more players and more of a focus on online multiplayer is definitely going to be a thing with this. And I think that will differentiate it from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe so far. So seeing this excites me. I think that there's like a lot of potential here for cool stuff.
Barry, if you want
I
to,
hope so, man.
I just pulled it from
If I get a communication error, I'm gonna be real depressed.
Blue Sky, side by side with Mario karting it up. See how puffy these goddamn cheeks are. See how they've revamped him, if they've revamped him at all.
I mean, he's he does look more jolly.
So this is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
His mustache is.
This was sent
More
with puffy
perfect.
wheels.
His-
This Blue
his
Sky was
cheeks
sent
are
puffy
definitely-
wheels. That was the big
My
thing.
boy's puffed up.
God, it
Yeah,
looks so much
they-
low res. The
yeah,
hardware
you've
got
been eating.
worse. Just kidding.
It looks like he got stung by a bee or something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, been living a good life.
And everything, like the cart seems more compact, which will probably just be like a basic cart style, but there's subtle little things, you know?
Yeah, because even looking in the background, like there are still like the more fun carts and like motorcycles and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So it doesn't look like we're losing anything here. Although not seeing any anti-grav or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But we're seeing very limited bits of this.
A skateboard.
Course. So far.
Do we think that there may be maybe the big twist, similar to spoilers Uncharted 3, that there is no big twist for Mario Kart 9 and it's just going back to basics?
Cart it up.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
No
Fast
more
and Furious
blue
going,
shells.
going
No
back to
items.
stealing stuff, going back to
Love
heists.
that.
No
Yeah.
items. It's just
all
racing.
straight,
It's
yeah.
pure
Yeah.
racing now.
You have like a pit crew. Way too serious.
As we just, go with all the breadcrumbs we have here. If you can leave it right here, Barrett. One of the things I just saw, of course, former IGN DS writer, handheld writer, Craig Harris was on Blue Sky wondering if the fact that some of the Switch is exposed in the dock this time around, if that could be used for notifications, if it'd be used for rather than just put it. Not nobody. I'm sorry, but people who dock it always like it kind of throws off the entertainment center because it's ugly. Could you do something with a little bit of screen area there?
People also did a mock-up of that based on the leaks, I think, a couple months ago. Of, it having little like the time on it and like, just kind of like just random
Little
stuff
Mario
that you
running
need.
stuff.
Alarmo.
It's a new version of Alarmo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, mine is still there.
You waking up to it every day?
No. I mean, it plays good night sounds for me whenever I get into bed. When I get into bed, it's like boom, 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 boom. It's like, oh, you're still here. I'm like, yeah, I'm here.
Whenever you're done with it, let me know because Ben would probably want it.
Okay.
It seems like a good kid toy.
Yeah.
He loves clocks.
Also, I see what you're talking about. I think the Blue Sky post was talking about puffy wheels.
Yeah.
I think this is, Tim, we would have to go back into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I feel like this is a certain wheel type that's like already in Mario Kart 8. I was looking more at Mario's face. His puffy ass face.
He be eating good.
Yeah, let's not be shaming
Yeah,
it. He put a movie out, you know.
Yeah, he's been
man.
working. Let that man live.
Fucking tired.
Yeah, he's been making money.
At this point in life, just let him go. Yeah, Donkey Kong, I think, is the most
Donkey Kong has lost some
Definitely.
sleep.
different looking. Just that being a stock model for DK is like, I think, really cool and exciting. But nobody else reflecting a whole lot of changes is also kind of surprising.
I mean,
to
this
me.
is gonna, I think, end up as a me and Tim conversation down the road of predicting Switch software. But I wonder if that is it. Like, there's a future Donkey Kong game where he looks like that.
Yeah.
This is Donkey Kong for a new generation.
Yeah,
These
Or-
are
and
maybe
the old generation.
character
Like,
skins.
this is 3D Mario Donkey Kong.
Could be
Just
character
saying.
skins.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Skins in Mario Kart would be an exciting new addition. You know, like have in Smash Brothers, you have like Fire Mario and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like that'd be cool.
And it's
Low
not like it would
poly
be
64 Mario, whatever.
Yeah.
it'd just be kind of a more spruced up kind of choosing your Shy Guy color, Yoshi color and stuff like that. Like they've already played around with that type of stuff. So yeah, that would be neat.
Yeah, Skins is a great call, actually.
What's up with Peach back there?
Should be Peach.
Oh, she's just on a motorcycle. Okay.
He thought she was just running.
What's up with her?
What's up? What you doing?
No, I'm just trying to see any character model that is different. I don't know. I'm just surprised that he's the only one.
Also, I believe I see an item pickup in that under Yoshi's little burger joint here. Because that was an exciting thing as well. Like maybe no items, that'd be crazy.
Yoshi's Burger Shop is shaped like Yoshi's head.
Wait,
Love
what?
that.
Oh yeah, shit! That's so cute.
Good for them.
I bet that meat's from other
Yeah,
Yoshis.
Andy, I wonder if you're kind of onto something here where because the only characters we're actually seeing here are like the core Mario cast and Donkey Kong. And I wonder if that's on purpose of the Mario cast looks this way. But notice Donkey Kong looks different. And I wonder if some of the I guess the
You
core
have to.
Mario
If
cast
you're-
is most of Mario Kart.
If
but-
they do 24 players, then either they have to add in like way more characters, or I think you're gonna get into skins, like for sure.
I mean, there is a lot of characters in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe by the end of it all because they kept adding those motherfuckers.
True. Yeah. Like not that there's like not more than 24 characters, but I think if you're gonna have that many people in play, like you're gonna want to expand that anyway.
Could you pick duplicates?
No,
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. No.
All right.
Oh well,
Okay.
yeah, maybe online. You'd have to online, right?
Yeah, I guess online it would be hard to.
I would never
get
try
around.
that game online.
Sorry, go
Communication
back to that. The final screens this is where all the nerd information shit that I get really excited about. I love seeing the click here. Yeah, love this for so many reasons. The actual side by side of seeing the difference, seeing the bezel difference there, how grown up and cool the black looks. But confirmation, both physical and digital Nintendo Switch games. We've talked about all this stuff. The president's come out and said to some extent it's backwards compatible, but huge confirmation for the normies out there. And
For sure.
Also great to start off the Switch 2 with debatably the best library of games ever, both physical and digital, to be able to be playable. And I also think that this is a good sign for the Horsemen to continue to come out the next couple of months as we lead into the Switch 2, kind of without fear of oh man, why is this happening? Because it
I'm not gonna be able to play Zaw on my Switch 2.
Exactly. That Metroid Prime, another Samus. No, what the fuck was it called? Metroid Prime 2.
Samus Returns?
Samus Returns. Yes. That came out on the
Another
3DS, and it was but I want to play it on the Switch, the brand new shiny
Oh
Switch.
man,
you
WarioWare
know?
Gold.
Like all that stuff, right? So it's
That's WarioWare too. God damn it.
I'm excited for that for sure. And also the physical stuff's big.
Man,
You know what? I'm not mad about the bezel.
It's fine.
Tim. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
you know,
Not mad.
It's-
Everybody, Andy's not mad.
I'm not mad about the bezel.
Andy's not mad.
he's not
everybody.
mad, y'all.
Is it because it's thinner on the top and bottom?
Yeah, I
that
think that
helps.
goes a long
That's
way.
definitely it.
Yeah. And I think
So you're not mad about it now. In 3 years, you will be.
See, I'm only
Once we get the full OLED
I'm more
version?
okay with it because it all comes down to when me and Eddie were just talking about the Steam Deck aspect ratio. It's like if you're going to be taller, it's like you need to make up for that. Otherwise, you're going to like fuck up the aspect ratio. And the last thing I want is for Nintendo to be like, hey, we can finally play third-party games, but only if you make it this funky ass aspect ratio that nobody's going to want.
I also like and this is a very, very, very small detail, but like it with the old Switch here, the Switch 1, when you put those Joy-Cons in, there's that very weird little gap at
Yeah,
the
that
top
little-
of the Joy-Con over to the
Yeah.
actual Switch. The fact that you no longer have that is just such a like, ooh, yes, that looks good. That feels good.
I would slot in a goldfish cracker in each one of those just for later. Have those little snacks.
What is
I love that
wrong
for
with
you.
you?
They're the snack that's
I wish you did that at least once.
You're right, Greg. I will be mad at the bezel in 3 years because
Yeah.
I'll likely have my Steam Deck 2 by then. I'll be like, oh man, I wish the Switch had an OLED by now or whatever.
I mean, the
But
Switch, the Steam Deck's bezel is also kind of an issue. If I'm being
the OLED?
any of them, it's worse than this.
Oh, I simply disagree.
He simply
Simply
disagrees.
disagrees.
I mean, but again, it's okay because it disappears because of the OLED.
Yes, you're
Which
right.
I hope is the case here. We still don't know at this point.
Yes, we do. We know.
Tim,
We still don't know.
It's not
Hey,
OLED.
It's not
everybody,
OLED.
The PS5, when we all saw that fucking trailer and it was just like, there's two of them? One has a disc drive and one doesn't?
Pizza
like,
bet.
Hey,
Pizza
anything
bet.
can happen. I'm not betting on this. okay?
Wow.
Oh.
Fucking coward.
He's got no stars and he's got no balls. That's the Tim Geddes motto.
I said I'm still not giving up hope. Not betting on it.
Means hope.
Does mean hope, everybody. You know what else means hope? You going to kindoffunny.com. That's not even a
Slash
thing.
Patreon. That works, right?
Oh, yeah,
Slash
Patreon.
Patreon,
Yeah, to become a Kind of Funny member and get these shows ad-free. But for everyone else, here's a word from our sponsors. This episode's brought to you by MeUndies. At some point in our illustrious love lives, we've all asked our partner the same age-old question that guys have probably been asking for thousands of years. Am I big? While MeUndies doesn't know the actual answer to that, or if your partner gave you the actual truth, this Valentine's Day, they can help you look huge with their contoured pouch and ball caddy. Choose from tons of awesome Valentine's Day prints and styles and match undies with your special someone for an extra special holiday treat. From all black classics to fun, expressive prints, MeUndies has a look for everyone. Y'all know I love MeUndies. All my black t-shirts are MeUndies, including this one I'm wearing right now. Try MeUndies out, and if you're not happy with your first pair of undies, it's on MeUndies. This Valentine's Day, good things come in big packages at MeUndies. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/kindafunny. That's MeUndies.com/kindafunny for 20% off plus free shipping. MeUndies, comfort from the outside in. This episode's brought to you by ExpressVPN. Going online without ExpressVPN is like not closing the door when you use the bathroom. Even if you think you have nothing to hide, why give random creeps a chance to invade your privacy? Internet service providers, including mobile network providers, know every single website you visit. ExpressVPN reroutes 100% of your traffic through secure encrypted servers, so your ISP can't see your browsing history. It hides your IP address, so it's even harder for third parties to track your online life. It's so easy to use. You just fire up the app and one click gets you protection, and it also works on phones, laptops, and more. I use ExpressVPN everywhere because it gives me so much peace of mind that I can explore the internet safely. Protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/kindafunny. That's EXPRESSVPN.com/kindafunny, and you can get an extra 4 months free. expressvpn.com/kindafunny for an extra 4 months free. This episode's brought to you by BetterHelp. What do you want your 2025 story to be? Every January brings you 365 blank pages waiting to be filled in. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist, or maybe there's part of your story you've been wanting to revise. Life isn't about resolutions that fade by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own life. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters and create the meaningful story you deserve to live. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. And it serves over 5 million people worldwide. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny. BetterHelp.com/kindafunny. We're back, everybody. We got some more updates on information on this thing. Jason Schreier on Blue Sky says, if you're wondering, one reason to randomly drop a Switch 2 teaser 2.5 months ahead of the proper reveal would be to allow third-party companies to start officially announcing their games for the system. So yeah, we're about to, I mean, we're already getting, I saw people like talking about, hey, like indie people like the last couple days being like, stay tuned for Thursday, kind of like hyping things up that like games we're working on, like we're going to be able to actually talk about them.
GDC's in March. You want to be able to talk about your games there and announce stuff, show stuff like, hey, this is coming to all these platforms and Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah.
And not even third party here, but we didn't know we're getting a Pokemon Presents next month, which I imagine we're going to get like the proper Pokemon ZA look. And I think like we're going to see like to some extent what it looks like on the Switch 2. Like, not that it really matters. Like, I don't think like looking at Mario Kart here, it's like we don't need Nintendo published games to look better. We just need them to run better at this point. And that's not true across the board. There are examples of games, clearly things like Scarlet and Violet that are pieces of shit. But I feel like so many other games like Mario Kart, I don't need Mario Kart to have more textures. You know what I mean?
You say
it's
that,
like,
but once they add more textures,
I know what you mean,
you'll see
Tim.
what you say.
well, no, I think then you
Mario
add
Kart
more and it
Deluxe.
like hits up. Yeah, exactly. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Looks great.
It looks fantastic, right?
Well, some might say, "Oh, I make another one." You had the perfect one. You made it perfect.
Same with Smash, right? Just stop here.
Yeah. I'm just fucking with you.
I know. But yeah, I mean, this is interesting, right? There was all the rumors the last week we've talked about of Metal Gear Solid Delta and all the Ubisoft games as well. So I feel like at some point we're gonna get more info on this. Like, I mean, Metal Gear I think is a great starting point. Like, we don't know when that game's coming. Still don't have the release date for it. Like, Greg, do you have any gut call on it now?
I mean, if it's coming to Switch 2, it'd be cool to be a launch title there, right? If you launched across the board, had it already on all of those. I don't know if you do that, but I think it'd be kind of cool if you did. And maybe that would make sense for why it's been kind of quiet and why they've been very laissez-faire about what dating it or saying when it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other third parties do we think are look like? If the direct is on April 2nd, right?
Yes.
Are we thinking 3 months after?
For the
Window
Switch 2?
period, 2 month
I mean,
window.
just again, following last time, it was 2 months.
And so,
January
what
to March.
kind of games are in that window? You know, what games are in that summer window?
I mean,
Elden
Metal
Ring,
Gear, I
Night
think,
Rain.
is
Holy shit!
Yeah, dude.
God
We're
dang!
playing with our Switch mouses.
Holy
It's gonna be
shit!
great.
yeah. Right.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
Take it to the bank. You'll get a Disgaea.
Whoa.
I don't mean to.
Ballsy.
I don't want to. I mean, I know that
Maybe
blew the
spoiler
skirt up
alert.
for a lot of
Wow.
Nintendo fans out
Maybe
there.
a
isn't it?
Suikoden remaster. Do you think the floodgates are going to open, like of third-party developers talking about their Switch 2 games now? Because if it with the Switch 2 Direct happening in April, right? Like, it would feel not weird, I guess, but like if a bunch of people jumped in front of Nintendo and went, "Hey, my game's coming to Switch 2. Hey, my game's coming to Switch 2." I feel like that then kind of takes some sale out of the momentum of like we want people to like build up that excitement.
See, I think
for
that is
Nintendo
to
thing.
build up the excitement because I feel like Nintendo has Nintendo games to show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At that April 2nd thing, like that's where we're going to see Mario Kart and Mario 3D and whatever else they have, Metroid Prime, those other things. So
Letting
of course-
everyone else, I think, talk about it and like, hey, the games you already knew about. I don't think they're announcing Switch exclusives. You know what I mean? It's more like, hey, this is coming. So it's like you're just putting bullets in the chamber, right? Of like, hey, they have this machine that has the entirety of the Switch's library, has these other new games that'll be coming out, hopefully day and date, whenever they are. And then, you know, you're building to Zelda, Mario Kart, whatever they all have.
Well,
there.
what form do you guys see that taking place of? Of like, is there more functionality that do you think that's left on the table to then talk about at the Switch 2 like Direct, or do you think like what we've gotten is what it is, and they're going to be developers will be able to talk about shit freely?
Well, I just don't think that the developers are going to be talking about any. Like, I think that the extent of them talking is, hey, this game you already know about is also coming to Switch 2, and that's all they say.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I don't think
Gotcha.
you're seeing anything of like, oh, we're taking advantage of the mouse support or anything like that for the games they'd be talking about now. I think that's all safe for Nintendo. And yeah, Nintendo's presentation, their direct is showing whatever Nintendo game uses it as a mouse, showing whatever the C button is for them and how that works.
How nerdy do we think this direct is gonna get?
I mean, it's Nintendo, so in the sense that, like, I think that there will be a lot of nerdy games in it, but I think that in terms of, like, getting into all the tech and all the, I don't think it's going to be that nerdy.
On a scale of Nintendo to Mark Cerny.
It's going to be Nintendo.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I mean, I think that
We're not going to get
I don't think you're
numbers.
going to get somebody come out and he's breaking down the pixels and this and that.
But
and
it'll
like
be the first times the letters and numbers 4K will ever be said by Nintendo.
Okay.
You'll get a press release after that has all the little
More
it's this by
details,
this and
yeah.
this by that.
That's
Understand
what I
how mouse
imagine,
works.
right?
Yeah, that's where I'm at, right? It's gonna be like, to Greg's point, them showing off functionality within the games. Maybe get like a 1-2 switch analog. 1-2-3
1, 2, 3 switch.
switch.
And
1, 2, 3 kid.
Oh my god.
pricing,
Xbox.
date, pricing. I think those are the two big things that, in addition to games, we'll get at this April event, whatever they are, and SKUs if there are multiple ones.
What do you think on pricing after seeing it now?
400.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah, you were saying 350,
Yeah, yesterday I was
Yesterday?
saying 350.
which I think is in the realm of possibility as well. Wait, wasn't there 2 SKUs for the Switch when it first came out too?
No, I think there's just different colors.
But that
Yeah,
didn't.
there's the gray and the.
Oh, were there different
multicolored.
memories?
But didn't they have different, like, there was different prices on them? I'm pretty sure for some reason. Like whether I think it was 8 and 16 gigs or whatever, something
Really?
like that. Maybe I'm wrong.
God dang.
People saying
No,
no.
everybody's saying no.
Okay.
8 and 6 like fucking
Not the Wii U.
iPhone from 2008.
Like an iPod.
Where's the Wii U? The Wii U had 2 SKUs.
Ah,
Of course.
Download Wii U.
Download 2 songs on this thing.
that's insane.
Greg and Andy, what do you guys think on price?
Yeah, I think $3.99 sounds right for me. Yeah.
Yep, that's what I said before on whatever Games Daily or Games Cast when this conversation was happening. I hope they hit that. I hope they nailed that. I think that would be make sense for what they're trying to do. Obviously, lower is always better, but that'd be the ceiling, I think, in terms of what the Switch has already been, what people are expecting.
I do want any scalpers to know out there that if you plan on being active that day, I will hunt you down with a fury and a force. You and all your loved ones.
Wow.
Wow.
So watch out.
Watch out, everybody.
Watch out.
Do we think there's
Andy's
going to be a
coming.
run on this? Do you think it's going to be there's going to be people who can't get it? They're going to be out of pre-orders. It's going to be the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be as bad as before, but definitely.
This is not a PS5 Pro situation. I think this will be a really, really large launch with a lot of frustration
Yeah.
and a lot of websites crashing and a lot of people on social media going, "What the fuck is up? Come on, Nintendo!" You know.
Yeah, I see it as a way. I think when the PS5 and Xbox Series X were coming out, I think Tim was the one that was like talking about the same exact conversation as far as will people be able to get it and yada yada, right? Like I think back then Tim put it that if you really want one at launch, like you'll be able to get one.
Yeah.
But I do think that months after,
You have to be active.
You have to
on
be
the
active.
day
Like
that
you
it
have
goes
to be
live.
there
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
pre-order, like day and date.
We're all Wario alerts are on. We're
Yeah.
all set for it.
But like if you wait for it, then yeah, you might have to.
Wait for it.
Yeah,
wait.
exactly.
I see one and only saying people are being way too optimistic about the pricing. I don't think $3.99 is optimistic. I feel like that
'Cause
feels normal to me.
I want to get into something here because Rebecca Valentine has an article over at IGN. How much will the Nintendo Switch 2 cost? Analysts weigh in. Almost everyone is saying the same number, which is 400. We spoke to a number of analysts about this morning's announcement and asked them, among other things, how much they think Nintendo will charge for the Switch 2. And while answers all varied slightly, one number kept coming up over and over: $400. Dr. Serkin Toto of Kantan Games Inc. called $400 the price they need to succeed, saying that he cannot see a lot from the trailer that would justify them charging $450. This would be a step up from the $300 launch price of the original Switch. The OLED's $350, Switch Lite's $200. A slightly more powerful version of the same thing, making $400 seem like a reasonable landing zone. And then other analysts such as Matt Piscatella and Pierce Harding Rolls all seem to affirm this number, though both Harding Rolls and Piscatella suggested that the price would likely not impact sales much as long as it wasn't too ridiculously high, suggesting the price could go as high as $500, but that his base sales projections are based on $400.
Yeah, and that's
That
my
all
thing.
adds
Is,
up.
I think once you get to 500 and 600, then you are talking about can the Switch 2 be as successful as it needs to be? I think then you're getting into a problem of will people buy buy this thing for $500, $600. I think there was a lot of people in chat talking about the Trump tariffs. I could see those prices maybe get passed down to software. I think this next Switch generation, at the bottom, you're talking about $70 games, if not more than that. Like over time, is like prices of games rise up. But I think for the hardware to succeed, I don't think you can charge more than $450 at the highest.
Yeah.
And I mean, weird Nintendo decisions, right? We've seen them happen a million times, but I just feel like Nintendo's been in such a spot for the last 5 years or so that they know what they have, and it would take some really monumentally dumb decisions to kind of fuck up momentum, because they've just kind of had momentum for such a long time.
I was talking to Greg about this a couple days ago, where momentum is the most important thing they have, and that's why I'm so happy this is the Switch 2. This does just seem to be the next logical answer. Like, good. The one fear is the Switch was so great because of the momentum of releases, of quality releases it had, but so much of that was not only them not having to make software for handheld and home consoles because they got rid of the DS Wii split and it was just one thing, but it was also they had 5 years of Wii U games to Deluxe Edition and port over. So losing those, because we are down to a handful, if even, of worthwhile ones, and some of the bigger ones like Xenoblade Chronicles X are coming this year to kind of fill that out. Once those are over, you can always go back to even older things and whatever, but they won't have the same kind of juice that I feel like these Wii U games that most people didn't play that are playing for the first time. Right. I mean, the fact that we're at Donkey Kong Country Returns, a Wii game, being ported, I think explains my point a lot. But that'll be then now filled in, hopefully, with the third-party games, right? Where they will have a system that is powerful enough, whether it's internally or with AI super sampling and all of that, to be able to play the Assassin's Creeds and the Witcher games and like things like that to some extent, right? Cyberpunk and all of that. Like, I feel like that will at least pad out the library for Switch gamers, right?
Yeah.
But will that keep the same momentum? I don't know.
I think so, right? I think, to your point, remasters are a big part of Switch, especially I think in the first half of the Switch life cycle. But I don't think that like they necessarily carried the Switch. I think they just help supplement and make it feel like a jam-packed library. But I think at the same time, when we talk about the first half of the Switch, especially early Switch, you're then talking about Nintendo still making games for the Nintendo 3DS as well, and kind of like seeing off that library. And as I was listening to Greg's interview with Shu yesterday, and Shu pointed out the fact that like, you know, in the way that the Vita wasn't able to be successful, and like PlayStation had to double down on just consoles because you're splitting your first party to develop for these two platforms. Nintendo had the same thing, right? But they focused in on, all right, handheld. Everybody's developing for the same thing. Here, I think because you're starting off from the ground level of, hey, everybody going into this, like Nintendo developers are developing all for Switch 2. I think early on, you're probably going to even have like a heavier amount of software from the get-go than you did from the Switch 1. And I think that alone helps it.
Yeah. You hope too that Nintendo's been planning for this for a while and has all these studios quietly working right on the next big entries in all these series, and so it is what they've had before, but maybe languished a bit with here in the end of Switch, right? Of like, here are tent poles 3 times a year. You're getting a Mario, a Zelda, an Animal Crossing, a Metroid. Like, we're really taking the IP you know and love and making sure they're there.
Yeah, totally. And I feel like we've said this a lot, but it's like this has been such a great final year of a console, like for the amount of new titles they put out and the amount of like old ports or remasters or remakes of things that people actually wanted. Like, really good stuff. And they're continuing to do that. And there's still more things like Zelda, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess, which at this point they could still announce at a direct before April for Switch, but then it's playable on Switch too. And like, you know, I think that's one of the big things that they didn't talk about today, and I understand it, but like during that Nintendo Direct, they got to at least explain how old Switch games are going to run on the Switch 2. Is there a difference at all? There could not be.
There was in that last frame of the video, there was like a thing that said, when it talked about backwards compatibility, there was one line that said that like, not all Switch games, maybe. Yeah, certain Nintendo Switch games may not be supported or fully supported for compatibility for Nintendo Switch 2.
I'd be willing to bet that this is just them legally and like having to say this because they won't all work, but I bet 98% of them.
Everything you'd want to play, right?
It would be things
we'd be
like
talking about like Labo.
Oh,
Labo.
Labo.
Anything that uses the smaller Joy-Con.
Yeah, Ring Fit.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So things like that, I think,
That
are the
makes
only
sense.
things at risk. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's confirmed that this has amiibo support, so potentially certain.
IGN called out, that they didn't see the sensor or whatever for amiibos.
So yeah, that's I think what we're going to be limited on. Which
Gotcha.
right, whatever.
Yeah, I wonder how turnkey any of that could be for developers in the way that when Xbox One comes out, or sorry, the Xbox Series comes out, and the hardware team was like, "Hey, we made a lot of these games just run at 60 now." And that was not even using like the game. It's just kind of like the hardware taking over and giving the players that option to have the faster frame rate with whatever their enhanced frame rate things that Xbox is doing. But I wonder if they're going to do something that kind of can circumvent the developers, something that doesn't require the developers to have a patch, something that is just DLSS is doing it for you. You know, you pop it in and it's going now. You know, that would be ideal.
That would be such a selling point. I feel like that if you're going to get to higher price points, I think that's the type of thing that you push of like, hey, this is what you're paying for. I think it's very unlikely, but that would be the dream for sure. We got a report from Bloomberg here from Robin Zeus, an analyst at Sanford C. Bernstein, saying ahead of the announcement that Nintendo's prepared a supply chain network that will allow the company to sell more than 20 million units in its first year. That compares with the current Switch's sale of around 15 million units in its first 4 quarters. It is interesting, you know, the Switch being such a runaway success. Like, can the Switch 2? Is there any world in which it can keep up or outpace it? Like, it's kind of tough to imagine and believe just because of the amount of factors the Switch had going for it and the timing and just like the pandemic and even just 2017, the expectations of, holy crap, this is a portable system and I'm able to like play Breath of the Wild on it. Like, I don't know that that lightning is possible to even capture again. But I also think there's a lot of other factors that there's just more interest in gaming now, and I feel like people are going to want the sequel to all the games that they played
100%.
10 years ago, you know?
Yeah, I think Switch has become so synonymous with family video games and obviously gamers in general, but I think it broke through the mainstream in a very interesting way. And I do think having a one that, and I know we're loose with this right now, but a one that looks more adult makes sense for all the kids who have grown up with their Switches. And even now, where it was like Ben beating the shit out of my Switch this weekend, right, playing Mario Kart, it was like one of those things of like, it's his. I'm going to move up to this one, right? I think you're going to see that trickle down of that get it, and then you get a new generation that is playing these games. And then when Ben becomes a more serious gamer, he needs a Switch 2 of his own. It all trickles, and you have an
by that
ecosystem.
point, there'll be a Switch 2 Lite.
Yeah,
know?
Exactly.
Like, that's Nintendo's whole bread and butter is understanding that family ecosystem. What I'm interested in is these numbers. This is good, right? Them being prepared for 20 million units, which is more than 5 million more than the Switch 1. That tells me that these are going to be more readily available,
plentiful,
right?
Oh,
and I think that they have not only will they be more available, but they expect to be able to sell that much, which means they expect that they have a software lineup that is exciting enough to sell that much. Like, this is all just like really back end good news for me. But I am interested that April 2nd, we'll get the details on what the launch lineup looks like. I do think it's really interesting that when we got the first October look at the Switch 1 and we got the glimpse of the 3D Mario, and that wasn't a launch game. And we also got a glimpse of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That wasn't a launch game. It was the next month or 2 months after. So it is just, I remember being kind of like blown away at the January event when they're like going through and it was like Mario Odyssey coming later this year. And it was like, dang, really?
Yeah.
Nintendo has always in this generation talked about wanting to have like the monthly kind of drops of things. So at this point, I am leaning towards Mario Kart 9, whatever it is, being the launch title, but I don't think that is a lock.
I hear you and I understand you and WNDs. I get it. But like, I feel like in 2025, if you're going to show that as your only game in this presentation, that I think speaks to me. And again, those mainstream gamers I was just talking about, that's going to be a launch title. Because again, if you're those mainstream gamers, if you're my friend Ashley, who's bought how many Switch for her fucking boys, like you see that, you know that they're excited for it, you're excited for it. Oh, okay, cool. Like that's a lock.
Because even though they showed 2.5 seconds of Odyssey in that reveal trailer, the focus was for a good chunk of it Breath of the Wild, which did launch with the Switch, whereas they showed 2.5 seconds of Odyssey. Here, the focus, as much of a focus there was Mario Kart 9. I'd be surprised if it didn't launch.
I think that needs to be first 3 months. But yeah, I'm leaning towards launch just because if it's not launched, then what is? right?
I would
think,
put my money on launch. Yeah.
yeah, like I think if it's not Mario Kart, then it has to be a Zelda or a big new 3D Mario. But if it's a big new 3D Mario, then I would want to separate that maybe out a little bit from Mario Kart 9 and have that come out even later in the year. And Mario Kart 9 just strikes me as more of the priority to get out. But then to your point earlier, Tim, like I then think about what does the rest, like if this thing comes out in June, what does each month look like in terms of launch? Because yeah, like Mario Kart to start off, and then are we talking about a like 3D Mario in October? Are we talking about like if you're expecting to, not that they're expecting to sell 20 million, but if they're making 20 million to have prepared, are we talking about Animal Crossing? Like, what are the games that are going to push that?
Like, that's the thing is, I think that we're already too backed up because of the dates that we're talking about here. Like, I think that at this point, I feel comfortable saying it's 80% chance that Mario Kart is the big launch title. I'm just saying it's not a guarantee based on this. So if we're going off of that, Mario Kart at launch, what are the other expectations? We're expecting launch to be earliest June, right? With now an April kind of reveal on this. So earliest June, that gives us just 6 months for the rest of the year. Less than that if you're like accounting for how holidays work and Black Friday and stuff. So we're really only dealing with like 5 months. I don't think that you want to put out every single thing you have back to back those first 5 months.
Not, no.
But and also we know that they have a lot that is expected during that time frame. Because if we're talking Mario Kart, we're talking Pokemon ZA, we're talking Metroid Prime 4. Like those alone are like, holy crap, heavy ass hitters in different ways. And that's not even mentioning a 3D Mario that I am convinced is happening this year.
I think, see, I understand Metroid Prime, but we always talk about how Metroid doesn't sell gangbusters, right? So I think you do Mario Kart to launch. I think you put Pokemon out in September and you put Mario out in November. A 3D Mario.
Damn, that sounds delicious.
And when that says first year, is that until the end of this year or is that 12 months?
Well, it's saying first 4 quarters. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could be like June to June, right? And like then we get into next year, and are we talking about
Animal Crossing early next year?
Animal Crossing early next year. Are we talking about Ocarina remake? If I'm living in the world of dreams, like that, then I look at that.
To the bank, it's happening.
I look at that and I'm like, 20 million makes sense. If that's the kind of first year, if that's the kind of first 12 months that you want to have.
Yeah.
I don't know why. There's also just some little feeling in my heart, and maybe it's the energy drinks, maybe it's the Adderall, but I genuinely think now that we're going to see something done with Galaxy 2 for the fact that it wasn't ever put on that collection. Like, there was no reason for it not to have been in that collection. And for some reason, I feel like maybe it's getting more than just a port. I think it might get more of a treatment.
We live in a land of dreams, but Andy, I want to dream with you.
Dream with me,
the
big
thing
dog.
about that, I think it was me and Bless talking about this a couple days ago. Like, the fact that you cannot buy Mario Galaxy 1 on the Switch right now, like even 1, crazy.
Oh yeah, because they took off that.
Because you can't buy Mario 3D All Stars at all.
Just a WND. That's so.
It is the biggest WND of all time. So at some point, I mean, the fact that they with that showed they're not scared to put those games on modern consoles. Like maybe they will, but I don't know. Like that's gonna be. They got to bring that shit back, man.
I hope.
And
so.
like, give me a widescreen Mario 64. Stop embarrassing yourselves.
God damn it.
The amount of money that I've spent on just Mario 64 alone and Super Mario Brothers, like the classic ones. Hey, maybe they're working on Galaxy 3, and they're gonna re-release Galaxies 1 and 2.
Maybe they're galaxies inside the galaxy.
Damn, dude.
There's a whole bunch of super chats
Galaxy
that I want to get
Galaxy
to.
Collection.
Oh shit.
Mario Universe.
Galaga.
Gondor's Condor says, I, a Mario Kart 9 fantasy critic drafter, danced so hard for this trailer. So congratulations, Bless. So far, you're looking.
I mean, he's
prettier
dancing
than I
now,
am.
and then 3D Mario platformer will get announced, and yeah.
Gotta hope.
And Net Zero.
Sean Morton says, Switch 2 got them curves, boys. Let's fucking go. Pork Soda says, I'm a huge Nintendo fan. That was the most disappointing reveal in recent memory. No games, no specs, no price, nothing. That sucks.
It's that overhype.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel I don't agree, but I feel them in terms of like we've talked about this for so much.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about this moment for 2 years, and like a lot of it is leaked already. So we've known so many of the details already going in that I don't think there's any possibility of us sitting down watching that trailer and going, "Wow, I didn't see that
coming."
That was the greatest moment of my life." It's like no, it's never gonna be that.
Man, it's been longer than 2 years for me. Like I legitimately remember being at the old studio and a friend of ours, Marissa Roberto, messaging me and being like, "Hey, can you make just a video for our social feeds of like what you would want from this E3, and I was like, oh, Switch Pro. And I was just talking about bigger, smaller bezel, bigger screen. It's like it's been that was 2019.
Yeah,
I recorded that video.
A lifetime ago.
Embarrassing.
Then we got Cheyenne saying glitch for the Switch.
Huh?
Yep. Hooded Robin says, I'm officially angry at Barrett for putting the idea of Switch in my head. Switch with 2 eyes. Like the Wii.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And it not being real. But I'm happy we're here anyways, finally. CJ Splitson said, would you be disappointed if Mario Kart 9 is cross-gen? That's very interesting, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is. And I feel like that I understand the argument of you need to sell the Switch too, but I also think you need to sell copies of Mario Kart, and they would sell a literal bazillion of it.
You can't have 24 races on the old Switch.
Because it does say here plays Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games as well as Nintendo Switch games.
Yeah.
I don't think Mario Kart will go backwards. I think it'll be a go forwards.
Me
and
too.
I think, especially with the legs Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has had, Nintendo knows that if we put this out, especially as a launch game, for the rest of eternity, when people buy a Switch 2, they will buy Mario Kart alongside it, and we'll get those people, no problem.
Because it only works on the Switch.
Chat makes a good point of 24 players would melt the Switch.
I said that before, chat. Why are you stealing my takes, chat?
Damn.
Great take, chat.
I take all yours.
Good job, chat.
Tyler says, calling it now, 2 first-party launch titles, Mario Kart 9 with 24 players online, and Metroid Prime 4 with Joy-Con mouse mode support. Get
That makes
hyped.
sense, I think.
If they put out Metroid Prime and Mario Kart, I'm going to be so sad. Don't
Just 'cause-
fucking bury Metroid. Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid.
Put it out
Nintendo.
the next month. 1 month. Just wait 1 month. Just don't put them out together.
Yeah, but it's Switch 2 time. Like Metroid Prime, as much as of course,
It's Switch 2 time.
It's Switch 2 time.
That's what
Like,
they said in the board meeting. Yeah, but it's Switch 2 time.
It's Switch 2 time. Like as much as I love Metroid, right? Like
Yeah.
Metroid, I played Metroid Prime for the first time when they did the remaster, and that shit blew me away. One of the best games I ever played in my life. We know it. We know what Metroid is in terms of sales. And like, if you're going for the 1 game a month strategy, for me, with my suit on, right, Nintendo, like, look at me as a Nintendo businessman. I'm
Look at
looking.
me.
Kicks open the door. Switch 2 time.
I can't open the door. I look at Miyamoto, and I'm like, it's Switch 2 time. Don't waste a month on Metroid Prime. Don't waste it. Like, bundle it at launch. Like, put it out alongside Mario Kart. The fans are gonna buy it. They're gonna play it. They're gonna love it. But like, it's banger time. I can't waste a month.
Switch 2 time. It's banger time.
I'm with you. I know that it'll break your heart, Tim, if it gets buried. But I think an unburied Metroid Prime 4 sells like 500K more, maybe. Like, I still think the fervor and the excitement will be there for a Switch 2 that, there's 2 brand new games that are gonna, we're gonna showcase them, and it's gonna be like, holy shit, look how awesome Metroid Prime looks on this new piece of hardware. Yeah. 2 brand new games for my brand new piece of hardware that I'm gonna get. I'm so excited. Bundle it all. I'm getting it all.
And I'll even go as far as to say, I think a Metroid Prime 4 that comes out on Switch launch day alongside Mario Kart does better than a Metroid Prime 4 that gets like its own moment in month 4. You know, I think Metroid Prime 4 needs to be the game that, like, as soon as you pick up a Switch 2, you're picking up a Metroid
Is
Prime
Metroid
4.
Prime 4? I think that would be cross-gen.
It is.
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prime 4 is
we don't even know it's on Switch 2. But
Prime 4 is the +1.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think that works so well as a launch title. Like,
Pro
that is a
market
reason.
strat, like the right move if Nintendo wants to just maximize how much money is being made, launch titles Metroid Prime 4 because they're going to sell out of the Switch 2 anyways. And then next month's Mario Kart, you get that second wave, that second marketing thing of interest. Every influencer and Twitch streamer on the planet is going to be playing Mario Kart. That's going to incentivize even more people. By that point, there'll be more available to some extent. Get the conversation that, oh, fuck, I need the Switch. Like, create that demand.
That's a good point,
the
actually.
move.
I kind of like
That's
that.
the move. And again, that is more similar to how Nintendo has functioned in the past. But you can never look at the past to tell the future.
I miss Janet a lot because she comes in on our YouTube chat and says, you can put Metroid Prime 4 out whenever you want. There isn't going to be a time when it suddenly becomes a popular franchise.
See, yeah, well, say what's up to Zelda Breath of the Wild. I mean, that completely changed the game in terms of sales
But
numbers.
Breath of the Wild was significantly different than other Zelda games. What does Metroid Prime 4 have going for it that we've seen so far that's going to,
dare
like...
you. How dare you? It's Metroid
How does
Prime.
that look any
You shut
different
your
from
mouth.
Metroid Prime
I'm gonna come back
Remastered, and
there.
how well did Metroid Prime Remaster do?
It was the best-selling Metroid game we've ever had.
Did
and it
that
was
do
a
anywhere
remaster.
near Zelda numbers on the Switch?
No, but I'm not arguing that. But I'm saying, like, when's Metroid going to start selling? The moment that Nintendo actually puts out a new Metroid worth selling and pushes it that way.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's how you get there. With
I think the way to get Metroid there is to force it in people's hands.
Yeah.
And to Tim's point, like, you make it a launch title and you go, hey, this is the only one. Like, you can get Mario Kart 9 in a month. Yeah, that's gonna force it into people's
Mario Kart
hands.
8 Deluxe came out a month after Breath of the Wild. I'm telling you, we're not getting two major launch titles on the Switch. They've been working on Metroid. It's retro. They're not going to put Retro's game out to die. They're just not.
I hope not.
Oh man, I just want to. You all mentioning the Ocarina of Time remaster just got me so giddy. Like, I'm so psyched for the old thing to come back in a new way, and it's going to look amazing. And I know people are tired. You know, Andy, we want new things. We're tired of remakes. Nah, man. Like, I love old remakes as well, and I'm just, what are they working on right now? What are all of these studios that are kind of quiet and we haven't seen anything from them in a while? What is going on? Give me Ocarina.
If we get
Oh,
that
yeah, Ocarina.
before Wind Waker on modern platforms, I'm going to lose my shit, Tim.
Oh
I
man,
mean, well,
at
here's
that
the thing.
point, go for it.
We're getting a Zelda game every year. Like, that's just how this
Lose
shit
my
works.
shit.
And like with how the Switch likes to be and like likes to make money from software, we're getting a Zelda every year for the rest of time unless they need a break like Pokemon did. This year, I think, is the year for Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Again, might not be
This
a Switch 2. Yeah, I think it'll be a Switch game, and I think it'll be playable on Switch 2, and like that's their
Cross-launch.
answer to that. And then next year is Ocarina, baby.
Oh my god.
And I'm the opposite of Barrett of like, if Nintendo's like, hey, we got an Ocarina remake, you can punt Wind Waker remaster everyone. I don't give a fuck. I can play that on my Steam Deck allegedly, maybe if I wanted to, right? Give me the Ocarina remake, dude.
Do
Hell
we
yeah.
think Termina Field will be larger?
In the remake,
Yeah.
I think that there would be a lot going into it.
I'm asking about speculation about a game that we're speculating
Yeah.
exists.
Yeah, and, it's
Termina
Hyrule
Field?
Field.
Sure.
Like,
Okay,
Hyrule
Hyrule Field.
Field,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
Majora's.
yeah. Sorry, but like, yeah, just like, will they be like, yeah, let's expand this open world?
Well, yeah, you
Because
have
that-
to.
It was like the
If
first.
if it's a remake, yeah, because like when you played Ocarina of Time and you walked into
the
Hyrule,
largest
you're like,
thing
what
ever.
the
See,
fuck?
I then think about like, are we then how much of a different game is it going to be? Is it a reimagining? Do they find a way to convert Ocarina to like a Breath of the Wild style open world game?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I do think that it'll be more than. They're not just gonna do what they just did with Donkey Kong, which is take the 3DS port that already was a proper remaster of Ocarina, and
It's gonna be
put
more
it
than
up.
just new models and textures. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be more than just a visual
And
increase.
you don't think
think-
it's going to be Ocarina and the Unreal Engine 5 thing? You know, people
not. I
fucking
hate the way
unload
those
shit
things look.
or upload shit.
I
to
do
Really
think
looking one.
a major complaint you two have for like the modern games is like combat. And I think if you're gonna, especially with like Ocarina being a huge jump in 3D combat for that type of game, I think this is the Zelda game where they really focus on like, how do we spruce up Zelda combat and make it feel good and make it feel modern and like go to the nth degree beyond Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the
Well, I
Wild.
think because now, yeah, I
Hear me
love that
out.
we're just talking about Ocarina. Like the fact that this game, I can tell you right now, will not have weapon degradation. It won't have it. It's going to be like just an old school Zelda game. So one of the reasons why the combat can be a little frustrating at times is because you're having to deal with all of these weapons and pausing and going opening your shield menu now and then opening the whatever. It's just like, no, you're going to have a sword and a shield and an arrow with
Hell
some
yeah.
light arrows and you're going
Hear
to
me
pop
out.
off.
Zelden Ring.
Oh,
The shadow of the
oh
Ocarina.
man.
Shadow of the Ocarina.
Really fell out there.
Yeah, no, I tried.
Mac and
Because
Awesome
I'm
says,
shooting
"Give me
threes."
Smash Kart." Yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting because again,
Shadow
like,
of the Deku
Mario
too.
Kart 8 already
Oh, that's
did
good.
that
Fuck,
to an
that's
extent.
way better.
We had like many different characters
Of course, yeah.
in it,
And
I-
Mercedes-Benz.
I hope that they, yeah, exactly. Never forget that. I hope they continue it, and I also expect that they'll continue it. But they're never going to not call it Mario Kart. The Mario Kart brand is just way too important. They're not going to call it Nintendo Kart. That would
Yeah.
lose them sales.
Yeah, and Link and Donkey Kong not happy about that. Like they're really fighting behind the scenes.
Mara says 24 competitors per race is going to be insane levels of chaos. Can't wait for the full reveal.
I can't wait for like them to dig into the bag of like what Nintendo or what Mario characters are we gonna get into this to like fill out the 24. We're gonna get Wiggler behind the wheel.
Oh, I love
Oh
Wiggler
yeah.
behind the wheel.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a while for Dry Bones though, Greg. You'll have
Lanky
to wait for
Kong?
some DLC.
That's
Yeah,
bullshit.
they
No.
start digging into the Kongs for sure.
like the Epsteins. We're gonna find some dirt on the Kongs.
Deadeye616 says, if the mouse rumor is true, how would the gameplay work for Metroid Prime 4? I mean, it's just a first-person shooter, right? Left stick would be control, and then the right mouse would be aiming.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
And you're still using your thumb for those face buttons.
Yeah,
You know, you would have
very comfortably.
super comfortably.
Nick Northrup says, DS games on the Switch 2 will be easier to play with the Joy-Con mouse. My Mario Kart 9 wish list would be a Forza Horizon-style open world in Mario Kart. Please also be OLED. Yeah, that's
I just almost shed tears.
My
hearing that.
gut tells me that Mario Kart, the next one, is going to be more open and at the very least feature some type of open mode like Diddy Kong or Crash Team Racing or something
too
like
good to be
that.
true.
Diddy Kong Racing is the best. Remake that game.
God, please, dude. That's one of those ideas where it's so good that I don't think any developer is going to do it because, like, I don't know, man. This is too perfect of a world. That's just too good of an idea.
Yeah.
It can't happen.
I don't know. I feel like it's too obvious. I think it's got to happen.
I don't think it has.
They
to
had so
happen.
many
I
shots
feel
to
like
do
there's
it.
a reason why Mario Kart never went that direction.
And that's where I'm at. It's like, I feel like I'm surprised they haven't done it already, which makes me think that they just don't want to.
I mean, they had mission mode and things like that.
Well,
in
you say
DS.
why they
I
haven't
feel
done
like
it-
it's leaning towards going towards it eventually.
You say that, Bless, acting as if there's been 5 new Mario Karts in the last decade and a half. You know, but there's only really been one. So, like, you never know, man.
I hope so.
I think it could happen.
Diddy Kong Racing came out in like 1999 or some shit.
It's
you know?
a goat, dude. I accidentally erased my DS save file back in the day. Real sad about it. Yeah,
It happens.
bummed her out.
Then we got. Trying to find some good ones. Just Sixlet says, maybe it's just my weird association, but Mario Kart reminds me of the opening of Final Fantasy 15. And now I'm like, okay, but what if the standard Mario Kart, but it also has an open world Forza Diddy Kong Racing mode? That's right. It does kind of look like
That'd be
the
fucking
little
cool.
like pit stop situation in Final Fantasy. And speaking of Final Fantasy,
That
today,
track looked real big.
it did look more open. It looked flat. And again, we're not getting all the gravity stuff, which I do think lends to a bit more open of a situation.
The track looked massive.
It looks big, but it's very clear of like, okay, you're going straight.
It bends up there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
bends.
like-
you're following a thing.
But where does it kind of
Where does it go?
where does it loop back on? I don't know. Like obviously it's a map. Who gives a shit? We
What's
can't
the
really
level?
tell right now.
That's
But
the
it just
thing-
seems too big.
That's the thing too is like there was the Wario level in I forget what it's called, the Wario Snow Mountain, or
Where there's no
whatever.
laps.
There was no
Yeah,
laps, and
yeah.
I feel like we got in the DLC.
And
even-
those are some of the best. Those are the best levels.
yeah, in
maybe
the
this
DLC
is
we
the
got a couple more of those levels. I wouldn't be surprised if we get rid of laps entirely, and like every single or at least the
that'd be
majority
cool.
of the maps are every lap is a different part
It's
of it.
the Forza like
Interesting.
cross country stamina type races where it's just like you're doing a Forza race for 40 minutes. You know, like those are
Let's
really
play some
fun.
Forza again.
Man, Forza's so good.
So
What a
good.
good video.
But also, I
game.
look at that and I think of what's the level in Mario Kart 64 that has like the rail tracks and it's like
Choo choo, something.
it's like kind of deserty, kind of sandy. Like that's also another level that's like fucking open as fuck, right? Like I think that's just kind of
Well, it's like
The one with the big-
wide. I wouldn't
the
call
Yoshi
it open.
egg, where it's like
no,
was it
not
Mario
the-
Kart 64.
Yeah, Mario Kart 64. It's like the very last level of the game, I think.
Hmm.
I'll
the
look it up.
last level
Rainbow
of the
Road?
game is Rainbow Road. It's
Oh,
always
maybe
Rainbow
not.
Road.
Maybe not. Maybe it's the last level in one of the things. I'll look it up.
It is interesting. Like I didn't look too much into this, Andy, but today they were talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth being Steam Deck approved or whatever the term
Verified?
is.
Verified?
Yeah. Like, and there's been a lot of rumors, the third party wise, of remake coming this year to Switch 2, and then
Yeah.
Rebirth coming next year.
Oh, baby.
But Rebirth being verified on Steam Deck, it's like that
Yeah,
is
this one
interesting
bear.
to think of it.
Calamari Desert is what it's called.
Mm,
Mhm.
Look out for the train.
oh my god.
Fucking
Yoshi!
I mean, yeah, it's like wide, but it's like it's still very like focused.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just they're just ahead of their time.
Kyloctopus super chats in. Bless, this one is for you, and you are responsible for it. I want you to know.
Mm-hmm.
Blessing asked the question a couple years ago of who's had sex with Kind of Funny Games Daily running. You can add me to the club as of last night.
God.
Birthday tax. Love you guys.
go.
All right.
She said I'm big.
People who get the show ad free don't know what we're talking about.
Funny, everybody.
You gotta end the show there.
Yeah, I know. I fucked up. We have more super chats though. I know, like, there's a lot of love, so I want to get to these.
She went crazy when she heard a Baker's dozen.
Fuck. Tab Outdoor says, looking forward to the Xbox Dev Direct next week. It's the same day that Rebirth releases on PC, Shadow Drop on Xbox, Game Pass. Shu interview was amazing. That's right. Some fun housekeeping. Greg Miller interviewed Shuhei Yoshida yesterday on the Gamescast, so you should definitely check out that episode. No, I think Rebirth is going to have to wait a year to get to Xbox. Although Final Fantasy 16 coming to Xbox, put your money on it.
Oh,
put your money on it.
Oh yeah.
Accursed Talk says, love the channel, guys. What game, in your opinion, would be the biggest surprise to see on the Switch 2?
F-Zero.
Like a brand new franchise, brand new iteration. Okay.
Wave race.
Period?
God, you're so right, Bless. That would be such a surprise.
I mean, either that or Earthbound. Earthbound was unbelievable.
Those are
F-Zero,
good.
there's I feel like there's still a 2%
Like
chance.
a Star Fox Adventure or something.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's Elden Ring. Like, I want to see that. Like, I feel like that would surprise so many people, and I think it would be such a statement on what the Switch 2 is capable of and going to be. And that's how you get them numbers up.
Yeah.
Sickos.
You sicko. For me, I can only think about launch in this window, and anytime somebody brings up Animal Crossing for a launch window, I get mad because I don't want to even daydream about it. I want it to happen, but I don't think it's real. Brain. I don't think it's too soon. It's going to be years. That's how I keep putting it. So if that was to just be like in this direct, they were like in Animal Crossing, I'd freak out.
Gareth Ross UK says, Nintendo Switch 1, October 2016 announced, January public hands-on, March release. Nintendo Switch 2, January announced, April hands-on. June release is absolutely the release.
Mario 1, Mario 2.
I feel like June's the most likely. I've seen a lot of people that were also saying today's the day for this, saying July 11th as the date. So it's like, maybe that's it, but that's, it's close enough to June.
Marvel Rivals.
I would prefer July 11th.
Yeah, it's right
June
after my
seems
birthday.
crazy. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, we're gonna be covering Summer Game Fest and
Yeah.
stuff, and so July. I mean, there ain't shit going on in July. Last July was college football. Let's spruce up July. Let's spice it up.
Maybe it's June, right? But we get a preview device in late May, mid-May.
That'd be sick.
And we all share it on the plane together on the Summer Game Fest.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's definitely not going to be against the NDA we signed with Nintendo.
And we'll actually be able to use the mouse on each other's.
Passing Metroid Prime 4 back and forth. You do this level, I'll do the next one.
Jay Guad brings up that it might be different skins, which would be very exciting. And then Average Joe says, how do you think the stick drift will be? I know it was a massive problem with the original Switch. They haven't confirmed it, but the amount they focused on showing the analog go around to me says it backs up the leaks of it's going to have Hall effect sticks, so that stick drift won't be an issue. Foxy Steve says, this just makes sense. You iterate on what brought you to the dance and innovate the software it runs. Hell yes. Chrono says, with Nate the Hate getting this prediction right, I now see his other predictions of Halo on Switch 2 and others being more correct as well. That is another interesting thing to think about. Gears of War Ultimate Edition and Master Chief Collection coming to the Switch 2 this year. Atmos Dude says, Legion Go has the same mouse gimmick and it's useful at times for portable first-person shooter games, but wonder what Nintendo has in mind. Rotating Cast says, my prediction for the gimmick in Mario Kart will be different Wonder Zones with weird changes.
Wonder Zones.
Like gravity, big head, etc. I love big head is like one of the... Hunter is absolutely stoked for Switch 2. Video games are back, baby. Hope they port games like Metaphor and Mass Effect Legendary Edition to Switch 2.
Metaphor would be so good for it.
I think Metaphor is a year one game.
I hope so.
I think for sure. They've had so much success selling games on the Switch, and they were all mega delayed. That I think that they're going to prioritize it because they know that the audience is there for those games.
Yeah, if Royal was on the Switch 1, I feel Metaphor coming to Switch 2 is a guarantee.
And High Voltage says, looks like it'll have 24 players in Mario Kart. Gerald of Rivia says, shout out to the graphic designers and animators who made the trailer. Having the Switch 1 more from the 2 was great. Yeah, I thought that style of that was great. Also, and he brought up the music and stuff. I love how quintessentially Nintendo it is.
Yeah.
Like, that sounded like whoever composed the Nintendo Direct music and all that stuff was involved in this. And also, we didn't talk much about the snap sound remaining, but it is more of a clank.
It sounds.
I got the clank,
can you
everybody.
play it one more time, Bear? Because I heard a slap. For me, it was like a clap. Do it again.
Like, there's no way you could mistake this for anything not Nintendo.
That's a clap.
Play it again
That's
one
a
more time.
clap,
Sorry. Oh, yeah.
I think that's like, that's the magnets.
Clap it onto that fucking
Yeah,
thing.
clap onto that
Let's
thing.
go, man.
Oh.
And then Dean says, how do you see colors working in the future? If the red and blue are on the sides of the Switch itself, are those color accents there to stay? Yeah, that is something I don't like, is that the Switch console itself has the colors on the inside. It doesn't really matter, but like it kind of does, because there's a lot of times I have my Switch docked without Joy-Cons on it. And I'm like,
Just spray paint it, it'd be fine.
Yep.
Be
Yeah.
good.
yeah, you're right. Good point.
Yeah.
Good
Watercolor.
point. Yeah. And then Blues and Bridges says Mario Maker 3 with mouse support would be nice. Yeah, that is a
Oh.
good example of something that could use that.
Very good call. Mario Paint.
Jake and Bake says, first time, long time, hoping to be able to go to the hands-on event in New York. How fast am I going to have to be when signing up to actually get a spot?
Super fucking
I
fast.
imagine very, very, very fast. It's not at the Nintendo store, though. It's at some other event space, so
Okay.
hopefully there'll be some more room, because the Nintendo store's not that big. Mr. Nice Rye Guy says, the set looks so good. Hot damn, that's a keeper. Hell yeah. One of my favorites. Electric Greg Tar says, do you have any concerns about the Joy-Cons falling out of the handheld screen after a while, since they won't slide in anymore? That's the coolest thing that, like, again, this trailer doesn't fully show or explain, but because it's backing up all the leaks we've seen, the leaks have explained there's like electromagnetic magnets that are going to suck that thing on. So I'm really excited about this, because it feels like it's going to be sturdy as hell, and it's like you're not going to be able to pull it off. Like, remember we watched on Games Daily, we watched those like demo videos of these type of magnets, and it was like, there's no fucking around with them.
Like, there's a reason you have that big button in the back of the Joy-Con to be able to release them. Like, they're going to be strong.
Cool stuff.
Really cool.
A lot of similar things here. Side of Fry says, I still don't believe Pokemon comes to Switch 2. Yeah, we are in that kind of weird thing where it's like, it doesn't matter if it does or not. Like,
Oh,
if,
Pokemon's Zaw? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if it was
That's
Switch,
why you got to
so-
hope for these built-in, baked-in. It'll make games run better.
Exactly,
Switch games run better.
exactly. Mike Towndrow says, Indie Boy shooting his shot. Either Mina the Hollower, Earthblade, Hades 2, or Silk Song will be a Switch 2 launch title.
I was
Shout
thinking
out to
about that.
300K subs. That I do. We'll have so many conversations about the Switch 2 in the coming months. But one thing I want to put out there is I'm interested to have the indie game conversation, because the Switch 1 was such an important part of this like modern renaissance of indie games, or like not even renaissance, but like modern kind of creation of like how important they are. And
Remember the
things
first
like-
year, that gold rush of
Exactly.
like, holy shit, you put your indie game on there, it is going to sell
Yeah.
because people are just hungry for games. Not so much the case anymore. You open that store, it's a nightmare.
Exactly. And then things like Hollow Knight, right? Being such a breakout hit because of just how Nintendo talks about its games and its release strategy. But now that Nintendo is going to have way more games and third-party support, I don't think it's going to be that same kind of gold rush situation.
Sure.
So I wonder what that looks like. So yeah, interesting what you're saying here, Mike, but we'll have to see what ends up going down.
Hades 2 does seem, well, I mean, not early access. It's still not early access thing. Yeah, never mind.
But I mean, we're expecting it to come this year, right? June
I don't
would
know
be.
if that's a guarantee.
I think that feels a bit early if we're talking June.
You think?
I feel like it, yeah. I don't know if Hades 2 comes out by then. Like 1.0.
June feels right to me. Like June to August, somewhere in there. We'll see.
Switch.
Mm,
Switch. There it is.
What it sounds like.
It's more, though. Like,
Lot
there's
of similar
stank
things
on it.
there.
There's stank on it.
That magnet.
Got some good reverb.
Yeah.
It does, man.
Pretend you're
for them.
slapping
It's
me.
like when you,
Do it, but pretend you're slapping me. Play it one more time, Brian. Play it one more time.
Bro,
Are you reenacting that one time I slapped you?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a little off.
Pretty
A little
good.
off.
I didn't want to get too close. They
They
don't
can
want
get
to
it in
actually
post.
slap
They
them.
can fix it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
fix it in
Fix
post.
it in post, everybody. Let us know in the comments below what you think about the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal. Any predictions you have leading into that April 2nd Nintendo Direct that I cannot wait for. Of course, we will be live reacting to it here. Anything that comes out about this system, about any of the systems, you can get all the news on Kind of Funny Games Daily. You can get the discussions on the Kind of Funny Games Cast. Wherever you want to support Kind of Funny, we appreciate you, and we're going to give you all the video game content that you are looking for. Like the Gamescast that's about to happen right after this. If you're on Twitch, you can stay where you are. If you're on YouTube, you need to jump over to the link that has the thumbnail of Blessing and Andy and Barrett giving their top 10s of the year 2024. It's going to be a great time. Until next time, I love you all. Goodbye.